At the table, did it look like all the award recipients are here?
I'd like to welcome everyone to the 35th Annual Mayor's Awards for Preservation. We're excited to have you all here to recognize those who have preserved, promoted Elgin's history, architecture, and my name is John Marsten, and I'm the chairman of the Elgin Heritage Commission. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge and thank our Heritage and Design Review Subcommittee commissioners. Rebecca Hunter, Tonya Laketa, Allison Peterson, Christina Pila, John Regan, Marge Rowe, Dennis Roxworthy, Gina Tunar, Scott Savell, who is also the chairman of the Design Review Subcommittee, Chloe Burkhart, Michael Burns, Joey Christ, Carly Gorick, and Chrissy Palermo. I'd like to thank our council members who are here. We have Tish Powell, John Steffen, Rose Martinez, Steve Thorne, Anthony Ortez, and our city manager, Rick Kozel. You're going to clap all night, aren't you, Steve? On behalf of the Heritage Commission, we would like to thank the Hemmens, specifically Butch Wilhelm, Tony Latino, and Claire Masterson for all of their assistance with our event and allowing us to use this historic place. We'd like to thank Cafe Roma for catering this event, John Wiedmeyer for the creation of the plaques, Signs by Tomorrow for the plaque design, and Sue Campbell and her team for the audio and recording of tonight's event. Sue always tells me this is my best side, so I'm going to kind of keep it this way. The Hemmens Cultural Center opened in 1969 and borrows design elements from Elgin City Hall. It was designed by the same architects, Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill, and it overlooks a generous plaza as well as the Fox River. The rigid grid system, with its use of decorative I-beams, can be found on all four facades, paying homage to the world-renowned architect Ludwig Mies van der Rohe, who popularized the use of the skeletal frame. The building also now has a new addition, which we were just in, that is sensitive to the historic architectural design by Cardigan Clark and Association, completed just this year. The Hemmens Cultural Center could not have been possible without Hattie Pease Hemmens. Hattie was born to a well-identified socialite in Elgin in 1873, and her father, Walter Pease, was one of the original founders of the National Bank as well as the Elgin National Watch Company. In addition, he gave substantial portions of the land for the factory's building site and enticed them to move to Elgin. Hattie married Walter Hemmens and moved to 467 East Chicago Street. Hattie and Walter had no children, and so when they passed away, Hattie left behind a will stating that the estate of more than $1.25 million be given to the city. The will stated that the funds were to be used for construction of a community facility and an auditorium of approximately 85,000 square feet. This building was to be known as the Hattie B. Hemmens Community Building, now lovingly known as the Hemmens. This building is home to the award-winning Elgin Symphony Orchestra and is an ideal building for entertainment. For upcoming shows, please check the Hemmens box office, which is right outside and to the right. Thank you again for opening your doors and sharing this historically significant structure. The Heritage Commission recently completed their work on a historic resource survey of the Midwest neighborhood. It helps identify structures in that area that have historic significance. The document, along with past historic resources, will be available for research purposes on the City of Elgin's website. I want to make sure I wasn't giving out the wrong one. It's on the City of Elgin's website. We're also excited for the upcoming events in 2025. This week kicked off the month-long celebration, including events, lectures, and tours that promote preservation in Elgin. You can find a list of the events with a QR code in your program, yes. We're going to do this. I'm going to stop a word short, and you can just jump in when you want. Your QR code in your program. They can be found brochures in City Hall, Elgin History Museum, the Elgin Public Museum, and the Gale Borden Public Library. Make sure to stop by our tent at the Downtown Neighborhood Association's Farmers Market on May 30th for Local History Day. We also encourage everyone to attend our public meetings. We don't have a cash bar, but it's still a good time. The Heritage Commission meets the first Tuesday of every month, and the Design Review Subcommittee meets every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. They're both at 6 o'clock, and they're both in the City Council chambers. We also have some save the dates. Please join the Elgin Heritage Commission's 3rd annual car show. It's going to be held on Sunday, August 3rd, just north of Festival Park, and as well as the 43rd annual Historic House Tour, which will be in the Northwest neighborhood this year. To begin the Plaque Awards ceremony, I'd like to show a quick informational video about our heritage plaques. Those are you see them all the time out on the buildings. This is a series that we have produced. We have 3, and 2 will be shown tonight. And it was put together by the Heritage Commissioner, Tanya Lachetti, and a special thank you to her son, Alex Hudson, who's a senior at the South Elgin School's Beacon Academy. And he all volunteered to create these videos for us.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Hunter. I'm a Heritage Commissioner here in Elgin, Illinois. I've served in that capacity for more than 25 years. I'm an architectural historian, and I do a lot of research here in Elgin. The Elgin Heritage Plaque Program was established in the 1980s by the Elgin Heritage Commission to highlight preservation of Elgin's historic architecture. It doesn't depend on being in an established historic district. It is for any building at least 50 years old and in original condition on the exterior. This can include, of course, residences. It can also include commercial buildings, religious buildings. Any structure in Elgin can apply for a plaque. So the first step in the application process is to gather information. We're really lucky here in Elgin to have the Elgin History Museum, where we are today. They have many, many resources that will help in the search of historical information. They have old city directories, they have probate records, they have building permits, they have books written by people in Elgin about historic architecture. For example, Steve Stroud's series called There Used to Be, which contains historic pictures as well as current pictures of many properties. We have the Gail Borden Public Library that has a huge genealogy section, and also available online there is Ancestry.com, the library edition, and the newspaper indices. So you can actually put in the name of a person in the index and it will tell you all of the newspaper articles on file. If you're in Kane County, you're really lucky because the Kane County Recorder of Deeds, Sandy Wegman, has been proactive in making records available online. So you can access all the property transfer records from your home computer. One of the resources at the Elgin History Museum is the last edition of something called the Sanborn Fire Insurance Maps. These were maps that were created detailing the houses, the addresses, whether it's frame construction or masonry, where the doors and windows are, how many stories it is. It was a whole system to enable insurance adjusters to assess the value of a structure that had burned down. Step 2 is to write a narrative covering the historical importance, the architectural importance, the alterations, and the current maintenance. The successful plaque applications are formally awarded in May at the Mayor's Awards for Historic Preservation.
The actual application process to get enough information about my house probably took about 5 to 10 hours, but I ended up doing about 120 hours of research on my house just because I ended up going down a rabbit hole of researching all of the past occupants. One of the superintendents of the watch factory owned my house. So kind of learning about him, reading through a whole bunch of the watchwords was pretty cool. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I learned a ton, not just about my house, but about Elgin's history too, which was a lot of fun. I thought the whole process was really interesting, and it really, I think it adds a whole lot to just Elgin as a community, having more plaqued houses showing that we have all these homes that are actually significant to our city's history.
Yes, I was wearing the same tie as in the picture, so. Now, I would like to introduce the Historic Preservation Planner, Kristen Sundquist, for our plaque ceremony.
Thank you, everyone. Elgin is home to a wide variety of architectural styles and types, featuring everything from quaint cottages and stately mansions to historic row houses, sturdy brick flats, graceful churches, and elegant single-family homes. This architectural diversity is reflected in our neighborhoods that are not only visually striking, but also serve as valuable educational resources. To celebrate and preserve this unique heritage, the Elgin Heritage Plaque Program was established in 1986. Each year, property owners who research the history and architecture of their buildings are honored with commemorative plaques that note the year of construction and the name of the original owner. Tonight, we are proud to present 7 heritage plaques. Our first plaque recipient tonight is to the Elgin History Museum for 302 West Chicago Street. The history of this building is intertwined with the early development of Elgin itself. Joseph Kimball, one of Elgin's founding pioneers, arrived in the area in 1835 with the town's founder, James T. Gifford. Tragically, Joseph passed away shortly after returning east to bring his family back to Elgin. However, his sons Samuel and William continued his work, becoming instrumental in shaping Elgin's growth. By 1846, they had the cobblestone house at 302 West Chicago Street built for their mother, Nancy Kimball, and deeded the property to her in 1848. She remained in the home until her death in 1888 at 101 years old. This home stands as a testament to their legacy, and as one of the oldest remaining structures in Elgin, it has witnessed almost 2 centuries of local history. The home was built using a distinctive cobblestone construction technique, a method originating in upstate New York and brought to Elgin. The home is one of only 6 surviving cobblestone buildings in the city, when we used to have over 20. The house's Greek Revival style is evident in its low-pitched gabled roof, cornice returns, offset front entry, with transom and side lights, and coining at the corners. The structure is an exceptional example of the craftsmanship and materials used by Elgin's early settlers. There we go. The restoration of this historic building is a testament to the dedication and hard work of the Elgin History Museum, as well as the many volunteers, donors, and craftspeople who work tirelessly to ensure its preservation. Thanks to their efforts, the home now serves as a public space for the community, offering a venue for meetings, events, art exhibits, and educational activities. The grand opening of the restored Nancy Kimball House in May of 2023 marked the culmination of years of fundraising, planning, and hard work, and we're all grateful for the historical treasure that has been preserved for future generations to enjoy. Will those representing the Elgin History Museum please come forward and accept your heritage plaque?
Hey, thank you so much for the recognition, and thanks to Rebecca Hunter for doing the research for this, pulling all of the research that had been done together for the Heritage Commission. And, the whole project just, I know I'll say it again and again, but it couldn't have been done without Kristen, without Matt Martin. It couldn't have been done without our team, including Dennis Roxworthy and George Rowe and everybody else, Bill Priska, and I know I'm forgetting, Ruthie Galfie helped, and everybody at the museum helped put this together. But really, making the plaque is the first step towards getting it landmarked, and we think it is a most valuable property to be landmarked. So thank you very much. Thank you guys for coming out.
Oh, glasses. Our next plaque recipient tonight is Christine Hardwick for 229 Vincent Place. The home was built in 1905 for John and Mary Logan by notable Elgin architect Smith Hogue and built by Henry Jensen. John was born in Elgin in 1861, but was unfortunately orphaned at age 12. Despite these challenges, John worked tirelessly throughout his youth, holding various jobs, including at a brick factory, creamery, and as a railroad brakeman. His determination then led him to become a realtor, saloon owner, and deputy sheriff. John's career in the public service began at the age of 24 when he was elected to city council. He then became a U.S. deputy marshal, chief of police, a state legislator, and later a federal prohibition agent. Architecturally, 229 Vincent Place is a late example of the shingle style, a style that was popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The home features a steeply pitched side-gabled roof, a recessed balcony, and textured shingles. The home's intricate leaded glass windows, arched attic window, and round porch columns with Ionic capitals all contribute to its charm. Christine purchased the home in 2024 and marks the beginning of a new chapter in this house's history. Her commitment to preserving its historical integrity and its architectural beauty is commendable, and we're grateful to her for taking the necessary steps to ensure that 229 Vincent Place continues to be a proud part of Elgin's history. Will Christine please come forward and accept your plaque?
Sorry, they didn't tell me that I would talk. But I did want to say something about owning a historic home. So someone once told me, this is my second century home, and someone told me that when you own a historic home, you actually own and preserve a piece of history. I think that she was trying to soften the blow when you add an extra zero onto any home improvement quote you get. I do want to say thank you so very much to Rebecca. You were fabulous in doing the research for me. I will definitely be keeping all that information. I had no idea that the history of the home was so storied, so thank you, thank you. And thank you again to the Heritage Commission.
Yes, this house will be on the Historic House Tour in September. Our next plaque recipient tonight is First Congregational Church, located at 256 East Chicago Street. The Heritage Commission and I were actually surprised that this significant structure didn't have a heritage plaque already. This nomination not only highlights the historic and architectural significance of the church, but also honors the deep roots this congregation has within the community. Organized on May 12, 1836, it is the city's first church founded by Elgin's founder, James T. Gifford. And the services were held in his cabin. By 1888, as the congregation grew, the church sought a new location at the corner of East Chicago and Center Streets. The church was designed by architect Clarence Stiles in the Richardsonian Romanesque style, and remains one of the finest examples of this architectural design in Elgin. This church has not only been a place of worship for 130 years, but it has also played a vital role in Elgin's civic life. They have hosted many notable speakers, including Booker T. Washington, John Dewey, and Jane Addams. The building's rich stained glass windows, contributed by various church members, add to the church's lasting impact, telling the stories of generations of Elginites who have passed through its doors. On behalf of all of us, I want to express our deepest gratitude to the First Congregational Church for submitting the Heritage Plaque nomination and for continuing to preserve this beautiful and significant building. Your ongoing stewardship of this landmark ensures that it will remain a symbol of both architectural beauty and community service for generations to come. Will those representing the First Congregational Church please come forward and accept your plaque?
At the invitation of 11 Elgin pioneers, Reverend Nathaniel Clark of the New York Missionary Society organized our church in May 12, 1836. This building, which was built in 1839, was our fourth meeting place. On behalf of the First Congregational Church, thank you for this special history award.
Our next plaque recipient tonight is to Heidi and Shannon Carpenter for 1000 Logan Avenue. The home was built in 1925 for Walter and Anna Petit at a cost of $6,500. Walter was born in 1898 in Dundee, Illinois, and in 1919 he married Anna Jers. Over the years, Walter worked at various places, including a coal office and the Helm Brothers Implement Company. The marriage ended in divorce in 1935, and Anna became the sole owner of the home. She used the property as a rental until 1940 and sold it in 1943. 1000 Logan Avenue is an excellent example of an American foursquare, which became popular in the early 1900s through the 1920s. Originally referred to as a box house, the American foursquare is characterized by its square shape, 2 stories in height with a hipped roof. Typically, these homes featured 4 rooms on each floor, and while they were not heavily decorated, some homes incorporated stylistic elements like colonial revival, prairie, or arts and crafts influences. This home has arts and crafts detailing, particularly found in the front door and porch columns. The 4/1 windows and the enclosed sun porch enhance the home's charm. In 2023, Heidi and Shannon purchased the property and have since lovingly cared for it, ensuring that its historical value and charm remain intact. Their efforts to restore and preserve the home are a testament to their respect for the history of this property. Will Shannon please come forward and accept your plaque? Our next plaque recipients tonight are Linda and Jim Hoffman for 636 North Spring Street. Interestingly, the heritage plaque was a Christmas present to the Hoffmans, and they were given the plaque last Christmas, but we're glad to still honor them tonight. So if you're already thinking about Christmas, this is a great present. This home was built in 1901 for Henry Muntz Jr. and his wife Sadie. The Muntz's family played a pivotal role in the growth of Elgin's economy, founding and managing numerous successful businesses over the years. Those included a buggy, harness, and hardware business, a saddlery, a livery stable, a moving and storage company, a rug manufacturing company, an apartment building, and even a car dealership. Henry married Sadie Brady in 1901, and the couple had 2 sons, William and Jackson. They divorced in 1922, and Sadie received ownership of the home. She continued to live here with her sons until 1955. Following her passing, the home changed ownerships a few times, eventually being purchased by Linda and Jim Hoffman in 2001. Architecturally, this home is a stunning example of the shingle style. The shingle style is a uniquely American architectural form, combining elements from various styles. It incorporates features from the Queen Anne style, such as the wide porches and shingled surfaces, and asymmetrical form, the Colonial Revival style with its gambrel roofs and classical columns, and Palladian windows, and the Richardsonian Romanesque style, which is shown in its irregular sculpted shape. The continuous cladding on both the roof and exterior gives the house its signature look. Most recently, the Hoffmans were awarded a historic rehabilitation grant from the city to bring back some of the home's missing details. The restoration included work on the attic window, the siding, and a fresh coat of paint, all of which have helped to preserve the home's original beauty. Linda and Jim, your dedication to the preservation of 636 North Spring Street is truly commendable. Will you please come forward and accept your certificate?
I want to thank the Academy. I really wasn't expecting.
We would like to thank Rebecca Hunter for giving us the plaque as a Christmas present and doing all the research. And then also the Heritage Commission, we had the grant this past year for the painting of the house, and we also had a grant in 2002, 2003 to help with taking all the siding off. When we first bought the house, it was covered in white vinyl and aluminum siding, and there were 2 windows that had been sided over on the outside and wall boarded over on the inside that we didn't even know were there. So this has been a really great process, and we've enjoyed it a lot. Oh yes, right, we were a great unveiling house as well in 2003. Anyway, thank you.
Our next plaque recipient tonight is Mary Beckman for 514 Hubbard Avenue, built in 1961. This nomination not only highlights the architectural significance of the house, but also celebrates its historical value as the city's youngest home to receive a heritage plaque, meeting the 50-year requirement. The home was built for Donald and Phyllis Shaw by carpenter Thomas Grant in the Green Acres subdivision. The Shaws lived in the home until 1973, when the current owner, Mary, and her late husband, David, purchased the home. The home is a nice example of a mid-century home designed in the ranch style. Features include a low-pitched hipped roof, sprawling profile, large picture window, and a thoughtful combination of brick and wood cladding. As Mary celebrates over 5 decades in this home, we are reminded of the significance of this house, not only for its design, but for its place in Elgin's history and the lives of the families that have called it home. It stands as a symbol of post-war optimism, the dreams of returning servicemen and women, and the desire for a new, modern home in a growing community. We'd like to thank Mary for her hard work in preserving the home and its history. Will Mary please come forward and accept your plaque?
Well, it's been quite a while going through all the motions of trying to research and find all the things that I wanted to say about the house. And yes, I've been living there. It'll be over 50 years already, and I plan to be there for a little while longer. And I want to thank Rebecca Hunter and the commission for all the work they did in helping me locate all the information about that house. So thank you very much.
Our last plaque recipient tonight is to Mike and Kelly Howell for 527 Laurel Street. Over the course of, this home was built in 1888 by and for notable Elgin architect William Wright Abel and his wife Rachel. The home was constructed by Henry Jensen. Over the course of his career, William designed an estimated 100 significant buildings in Elgin between 1891 and 1915, shaping the architectural landscape of our city. After William's passing in 1916, his son Ralph continued his father's architectural firm, which was renamed W.W. Bell & Son Architects and Civil Engineers. William and Rachel also had a daughter, Claudia, who was an art teacher at Elgin High School. The home is designed in the Queen Anne style half-timbered subtype. Its steeply pitched pyramidal hipped roof with lower cross gables on the east, west, and north elevations is characteristic of many Victorian homes, but the intricate detailing found at the porches, window trim, and gables sets this one apart. The current owners, Mike and Kelly, purchased the home in 1994, and since then, they have done a remarkable work in preserving and enhancing its original charm. Their careful restoration, including the deconversion of the home back to a single-family residence, demonstrates their commitment to honoring its history. In fact, around 2018, grandchildren of William Abel visited the home and shared photographs of the original detailing, which Mike and Kelly plan to use for future restoration efforts. We'd like to thank the Howells for their invaluable contribution to the preservation of Elgin's history. Will you please come forward to accept your plaque?
It's okay, I understand. They're looking at it. Who is that guy standing next to you?
Awesome.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Well, I'd like to thank the commission, exactly, and Rebecca for all her work. This has been a long time, been a long process for us. We've been wanting to do this for a long time. And we bought this house in '94, so it's been like 30 years. And it was going to be a catalyst for us to move on to something else. My parents freaked out. Our parents freaked out when we bought it. Coming from the far northwest side of Elgin to the near east side, they were like, "What are you doing?" And it was a 2-flat, and we did the deconversion. And about a couple years into it, we had some horrid siding that you guys had saw originally, and it had to come down, and it revealed that detail in those porch gables on both sides. And being a carpenter, I was like, what is this? And so we just ripped it all off, and it's been a long process. We've made a lot of friends here. So anyways, thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to have done this.
Congrats once again to our Plaque Award recipients. Your care and dedication ensures that the stories of these properties will be shared for generations to come, allowing us all to better understand and appreciate the beauty of Elgin's architectural heritage. The second informational video we'd like to show you now goes hand in hand with the restoration that most of the award-winning recipients had to do with their historic properties. This video focuses on the benefits for maintaining and restoring windows versus replacements.
Hi, my name is Scott Savell, and I've been a historic restoration contractor in the city of Elgin for about 35 years now. I've also been a member of the Heritage Commission and the Design Review Subcommittee for about 14 years. And I'm a owner of many historic houses in Elgin, most of them in pretty miserable condition when I got them. And I'm here to share a few tips that I've found over the years. If you own an older home or are thinking about buying one, this video series is for you. If your windows aren't severely deteriorated, repair is almost always a better option than replacement. You're probably thinking, isn't it more expensive to repair rather than replace? Well, that's not always the case. Or are old windows less efficient than new windows? Let's talk through that. In many cases, repairing an original window is less expensive than replacing it. Your original window has lasted 100+ years thanks to high-quality craftsmanship and materials. The best-made modern windows are lucky to last 20 to 30 years tops. In fact, you would have to live in your house for at least 40 years to recoup the cost of a new window. The most common repairs on historic windows are sills, the bottom sash, meeting rail, and ropes. Sometimes the biggest barrier to getting your windows repaired is finding the right contractor. The City of Elgin has a list of local contractors who have done historic window restoration that you can use as a starting point. Now, let's talk about energy efficiency. In addition to proper maintenance, you can also focus on a few other things. Properly fitted storm windows, insulated blinds or draperies, and weather stripping. Historic homes usually lose more heat through attics, basements, or crawl spaces. Take a whole house approach when considering energy improvements. An energy audit is a good place to start. Owning and maintaining a historic house can be an incredibly rewarding experience, not just for you, but for your community. Thanks for doing your part.
And I now would like to introduce Mr. David Kaptain, Mayor of Elgin.
Thank you, Chairman Marsten. Our efforts to preserve and restore and promote our rich heritage through tireless efforts of passionate property owners, professional contractors, and dedicated volunteers have greatly contributed to the beautification of this city. So tonight we celebrate and honor the 2025 Mayor's Awards recipients for their dedication, hard work, and commitment to historic preservation. Nominated by their peers for their extraordinary work, they prove that Elgin's civic pride in its heritage is alive and well. Now I'm going to give Kristen and John a little bit of a start because I'm going to go off script. But the mayor gets to do that once in a while. And 20 years ago, I've been on the city council as a councilman and a mayor for 20 years. When I first started, we had a discussion, and it really was a discussion that involved the entire community, and that was what to do with this building. Whether to tear it down and create a whole new structure on the north side of Kimball Street, or to maintain this building. We went through a lot of permutations. We made trips around the country to look at concert halls, and this city at that time made a decision to preserve the heritage of this city from Ms. Hemmens and her dedication to her community by rehabbing this building. I saw Chuck Castle here from Burnage and Castle, one of the architects that served on the original committee, to look at what was going to happen with this facility. It turned out beautifully. I heard a lot of people talking what happened up in front and how this has changed the structure and the outside of the building, but the bones stay the same. And I think that's the key. And this community made that decision. So I'm nominating you as this community for making a decision to do this and wisely spending your own money to do the best thing for this community. Congratulations, give yourself a hand. Our first Mayor's Award recipient is Chloe Burkhart. Chloe's work on the rehabilitation of the prominent 1904 brick two-flat at 320 North State Street is truly a remarkable achievement, one that shows the exceptional dedication and vision of a homeowner who is committed to preserving the character of Elgin while making a lasting positive impact on the community. In 2023, Chloe received a grant from the city's Historic Rehabilitation Grant Program, and she accomplished since then goes well beyond the expectations of any grant recipient. Over the course of the following year, Chloe invested significantly more resources, both time and money, into this project, which included restoration of the cornice and windows, replacement of deteriorated wood features, an entirely new paint scheme that complements the brick masonry, and rebuilt the rear balcony that had years of neglect. The improvements not only enhanced the property itself, but also the entire block. Beyond her personal investment in this project, Chloe's commitment to preserving the Elgin's historic heritage has extended her to involvement in the community. Her work on 320 North State Street inspired her to apply for and be appointed to the Design Review Subcommittee, where she continues to contribute to the preservation of Elgin's unique character. Chloe's dedication to this rehabilitation project has been exceptional in every sense. For all of those reasons, it is with great pride and admiration that we present Chloe Burkhart with the 2025 Mayor's Award for Preservation. Chloe, please come forward.
Hi, thank you so much for this award. I work at a restoration architecture firm, so this home has not only been a passion project, but more practically, my home for the last few years. I want to thank John Marsten for nominating me. I also want to thank Rebecca Hunter. She helped me plaque my house a few years ago. She also encouraged me to apply for this grant, and she encouraged me to apply to be on the design review subcommittee. And she was also a cool neighbor down the street from me as I was growing up. I want to thank Ellen and Dan Whitehead from Do Design. They put together the project for me, and they handled the grant requirements, and they supported me throughout the repair project. I want to thank my family for supporting me, even though buying a historic home probably seemed like a crazy idea, and for helping me with problems that inherently come with owning an old home. I want to thank the city, including Kristen Sundquist, the Heritage Commission, the Design Review Subcommittee, and everyone else involved in the rehabilitation grant process. The grant program is such a valuable thing that Elgin offers, and it wouldn't be possible without people who care about preservation and equity. Thank you also, Kristen and John, for putting together this event, and Mr. Mayor, and thank you so much for the award.
Our next Mayor's Award recipient is to the Community Crisis Center for their impressive exterior rehabilitation of the historic 1891 Franklin School located at 37 South Geneva Street. For 50 years, the Community Crisis Center has been a lifeline for those in our community facing the devastating effects of domestic violence, as well as those struggling with economic instability. The center has provided a compassionate and essential resource for those in crisis, and its work has touched countless lives over the years. In 1987, the Community Crisis Center moved into its current home that is within the heart of the Elgin's Historic District. This building, which had been vacant for 5 years before the center's arrival, has been the backdrop for the center's transformative work. The space has played a crucial role in the center's ability to serve its clients, and its location within a historic district has not been lost on those who understand the importance of preserving Elgin's rich architectural heritage. In 2024, the Community Crisis Center completed much-needed renovations to the roof and exterior of the building, ensuring that it remains safe and functional space for years to come. Working closely with the city and the state, the Community Crisis Center utilized special materials such as slate roof tiles and crafted leader boxes, downspouts, and that were in keeping with the original design. This thoughtful approach to preservation has allowed the building to continue to serve its important function while honoring the history that surrounds it. This work done by the Community Crisis Center on this building is a perfect example of how historic preservation and adaptive reuse can come together and create a lasting impact on the community. The preservation of the Franklin School building ensures that it will continue to be a place of healing, hope, and support for those who need it most. For all the lives touched, for all the compassion and care provided, and for the thoughtful preservation of a historic building that will continue to serve our city for years to come, it is with great pleasure that we present the 2025 Mayor's Award for Preservation to the Community Crisis Center.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you to the Heritage Commission. I do want to thank Senator Christina Castro. She secured the funding for this project back in 2019. It took quite a long time for us to bring it to completion. We were interrupted by a global pandemic. I want to thank our contractors, John Shales from Shales McNutt, and our facility committee chaired by Keith Brill from our board. Bill Templin, our architect, serves on that committee. That's where I learned what scuppers were, because all the historic preservation, all the historically accurate downspouts, We are grateful to the Heritage Commission. Our facility manager, Emily's here tonight. She had numerous contacts with Kristen, emails and phone calls guiding us through that process. It is our 50th anniversary this year. One of our founding mothers is here, Sally Brown. Yeah. Wave, Sally. We want to invite all of you to our parking lot on June 14th because our actual anniversary is July 1st. At 6 p.m., a photographer is going to have a drone fly over, and we're going to form a big human 5-0 in the parking lot and get a video and pictures. So join us on June 14th. Thank you all very much.
Our next Mayor's Award recipient is Deborah Vrubel and the Elgin National Watch Neighbors for their tireless and devoted efforts in reforming the neighborhood group and advocating the benefits of preservation. Recognizing the importance of the area's heritage and potential challenges it faced, Deb connected with local leaders to better understand the issues and to gain the necessary guidance. She then worked tirelessly to reform the neighborhood's advocacy group, the Elgin National Watch Neighbors, which has since become a strong voice for the preservation of both the neighborhood's history and its future. Through Deb's leadership, the neighborhood group has organized a neighborhood cleanup effort, collaborated with city officials with the installation of historic district signage, and even participated as the featured neighborhood in last year's Elgin Historic House Tour. The group has helped raise the profile of their neighborhood in bringing attention to the unique historical character that defines it and reigniting a sense of pride and a sense of place among its residents. For all her hard work and for the positive impact she has had on her community, it is a privilege to recognize Deborah Vrubel and the Elgin National Watch Neighborhood Group with the 2025 Mayor's Award for Preservation. Deb, please come forward and reach your sword.
Okay, this is going to be a little challenge here. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this works. Good. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Last year, my husband and I were here at the Mayor's Awards receiving our historic plaque for the house. When we checked in at the door, we were given the name badges with the blue ribbons for plaque recipients. I glanced at the red ribbons on the badges on the table, and I honestly didn't know what they were. I didn't understand the difference. As I watched the awards, the distinction became very clear to me. I leaned over to my sister and jokingly whispered, "I want a badge with the red ribbon." I never would have thought in a million years. I am deeply honored to receive this award. It truly means a great deal to me. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Mayor Kaptain and the Heritage Commission for this incredible recognition. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, John, Heritage Commission. My deepest thanks to Jennifer Fukala of the Downtown Neighborhood Association, DNA, for nominating me for this award. Thank you, Jen, and thank you for all your guidance and support. To the other members of DNA, Liz Marsten, the Gifford Park Association, and everyone who wrote letters of support of my nomination for this award, thank you all so very much. It has been both an honor and a pleasure to lead and represent the Elgin Watch Historic District neighborhood. It has been fulfilling building relationships with others who share the passion for preservation and building a great community. It is through the hard work and dedication of many that great things are achieved. No achievement is ever accomplished alone. And so I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank all those who have been a part of this journey. My heartfelt thanks to my fellow Elgin Watch Association board members, Carly Gorick, Bethany Powell, Kimmy Shadivi, and our newest member, Abby Stewart Trimble. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to our association. I think we make a great team. I would also like to thank the Gifford Park Association. Thank you for your unwavering support of all our association efforts. Everything that we've done, you've been behind us. You have been a major help to us. I'd like to thank the Downtown Neighborhood Association, Fire Barn 5 Museum, the Firefighters Memorial Plaza, and the Elgin Public Museum. Thank you for your collaborations and support. I'd like to thank Aaron Neal and Elgin Public Works. Thank you for helping us with our historic signs. The neighborhood looks great with the new signs. I would like to thank my husband, Tim, for his help, patience, and support. I refer to him as my rope officer because he gets roped into all our neighborhood projects. Thank you, Tim. I would also like to thank Kristen Sundquist for her guidance and on preservation and support of our historic district and for this wonderful ceremony. And I'd also like to extend my thanks to everyone who has a passion for preservation and all the work you've done to make Elgin such a great historic town. Receiving this award is not just an acknowledgement of past efforts. It is an inspiration to continue working hard, giving back, and striving to make a positive difference, however I can, to make our community a better place. Once again, thank you for this incredible honor. I deeply appreciate it, and I will carry this moment with me always. Thank you. Go this way, go this way.
Our next award recipient is Efrain Zepeda for his impactful rehabilitation of 519 to 521 Douglas Avenue. When Efrain purchased the property in 2024, 519 to 521 Douglas was considered a problem property. The building had been vacant for some time, and the lack of maintenance had taken a toll on its unique architectural features. Massive holes were evident throughout the exterior, leaving the building vulnerable to damage and attracting uninvited guests, such as raccoons. In addition, the once beautiful features of the property had been obscured by an overgrowth of ivy, further detracting from the building's potential. From the moment Efrain took ownership, he rolled up his sleeves and got to work. He immediately removed the ivy that had overtaken the south elevation, revealing the architectural beauty that had been hidden for years. He also worked tirelessly to restore the building's intricate details, including recreating the shingle siding, decorative crown molding, and sunburst elements that have been lost to time. He carefully covered the holes and applied a thoughtful paint scheme that not only complements the structure's historic charm, but also breathes new life into the home. Thanks to Efrain's efforts, in the 1890 corner home has gone from being an eyesore to a welcoming landmark in the neighborhood. The care and attention he has given to this property are evident in every detail, and this work has greatly improved the overall aesthetics and value of the Spring Douglas Historic District. Once again, congratulations, Efrain, on receiving the 2025 Mayor's Award. Please come forward and accept the award.
I'm here representing my brother, Efrain Zepeda, who couldn't be here tonight. I know that he really wished he could have been here, but I just want to say and thank the Elgin Heritage Commission for giving him this chance of restarting this house. It took him a lot, but he did it for the community, he did it for the family, and he did it for the neighborhood. It takes really much courage to restore a house and have it in your heart and really take pride for what you're doing, and actually doing it himself with all the help that he had. And I want to thank the city of Elgin and all the people that helped him out, that really did a good job on the house. And he told me to say these words on his behalf. I thank all of you, and I thank the city of Elgin, and I thank everybody that's here.
Congratulations to him. Give us our best, give him our best regards.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next Mayor's Award recipient tonight will be to the Elgin History Museum for their development of Echoes of Elgin, a history podcast that brings to life Elgin historian Mike Elf's history columns. Elgin History Museum educator Rebecca Miller has been instrumental in bringing this project to life. She connected the technological world to Elgin's history with renowned Elgin historian Mike Elf's well-respected history columns. Beginning in June of 2024, Rebecca started recording episodes at the Nancy Kimball Cobblestone House. And since then, the podcast has flourished with 2 episodes released each week on Podbean for impressive 82 episodes to date. Each episode, lasting 3 to 5 minutes, provides an engaging and bite-sized look into Elgin's history, offering listeners an easy way to connect with the past. This approach has been instrumental in making local history more accessible and enjoyable to a wider audience, whether they're longtime residents or newcomers to the city. The Echoes of Elgin podcast is a shining example of how history can be shared in creative, modern ways while still honoring traditional preservation efforts. It exemplifies how Elgin is evolving and finding new methods of preserving and promoting its unique stories. Before we invite Rebecca and the museum team to come up and accept their well-deserved award, we'd like to give you a listen of one of the episodes of the Echoes of Elgin podcast.
Hello and welcome to Echoes of Elgin, timeless tales from the Elgin History Museum. I'm Rebecca Miller, museum educator at the Elgin History Museum, and your guide through Elgin's storied past. In each episode, we bring you captivating tales from our city's rich history, exploring the events, people, and places that have made Elgin what it is today. Whether you're a longtime resident, a history enthusiast, or just curious about local lore, this podcast is for you. Our echo today reaches us from September 29th, 1985, when kindly old Mr. Elf, who reminds us to be cheap but don't cheat, tells us about Elgin homes that open the door to history. Homes need not be old to have an interesting past. Scattered around Elgin are dwellings with some history associated with them. Their walls can't speak, but the records can. Here are some of them. 1005 North Spring Street. On March 14, 1900, the North End Water Tower, 95 feet tall, collapsed. Its capacity was more than 500,000 gallons, and it is believed to have been practically full at the time of the crash. Water and chunks of ice, some of them 2 feet thick, cascaded over the neighborhood. This house across the street from the tower suffered the worst damage. 999 Wing Street. This was once the clubhouse of the Wing Park Golf Club, erected in 1914. It was closed in March 1924 when authorities threatened action because of alleged violations in the prohibition laws. It was destroyed by fire on October 2, 1924. Only the walls of the brick and terracotta were left standing, and it was subsequently rebuilt as this residence. 475 North Porter Street. This is Elgin's first prefabricated house, erected in just 30 days in 1937. Engineered by the Harshminger Corp of Milwaukee, it was constructed of steel-framed units. 1310 Larkin Avenue. The windmill that once stood in the back of this house was not a vestige of a bygone farm. The mill, storage tank, and pump house were put up when the house was built in 1922-1923 for Richard K. Dick Peck, a pioneer Elgin aviator whose father was the president of the Elgin Wind, Power, and Pump Company. The mill provided water for the residents, then outside the city limits. Windmills were produced in Elgin for more than 60 years. If you'd like to see Mr. Peck's windmill today, it has been moved to Foundry Park with the support of the Elgin History Museum. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Elgin's history. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving a review wherever you listen. For more fascinating stories and updates, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or visit our website at www.elginhistory.org. Thank you for listening, and remember, history lives on in the echoes of Elgin.
Once again, congratulations to the Elgin History Museum and Rebecca Miller for their incredible work with Echoes of Elgin. Will you please come forward and accept your award?
I didn't know you were going to play the episode. Like most people, I don't actually like hearing my own voice. But on behalf of the Elgin History Museum, thank you for this honor. This podcast was born out of a very simple idea. This city has so many stories, and why not tell as many of them as we can? And this podcast has been a great tool to do that. Luckily for me and all the listeners, the stories that we have to tell are fascinating. This town is rich with stories. Trust me, you want to know about the oldest bell in town. You want to know about the 5 times the Chicago Street Bridge collapsed. You want to know about the gold hoard buried on Park Street, maybe. You also want to know about that silo over there by the library. Some of our episodes are meant to reminisce about our shared experiences, like Gromer's Supermarket. Some are meant to help us understand Elgin's role in world events, like the 2 Elgin men lost at Pearl Harbor. Other stories are interesting facts, like the former Elginite who was President of the United States for one day. Together, these stories paint the full picture of Elgin and its people. If you've not listened, we invite you to check it out. It's available on all the major podcast streamers and the Elgin History Museum's website. Check us out on Friday to hear about the Route 20 bypass, or as we like to say, 30 years from concept to concrete. Thank you.
Our next Mayor's Award recipient tonight is to the Elgin Public Museum for their monumental effort in renovating and enhancing the Encounter exhibit within the 1907 Elgin Public Museum. Originally constructed in 2000, the museum's LaSalle room paid tribute to the 1970s recreation led by French teacher Reed Lewis of the 17th century French explorer Robert de La Salle's travels. However, by the 2020s, the exhibit was no longer aligned with modern perspectives, and particularly its depiction of the impact of Native American European trade on indigenous peoples, waterways, and the many species brought to the brink of extinction due to the destruction of the woodland habitats. Thanks to a grant from the Palmer Foundation and the expertise of consulting recreation crew member Rich Gross, the museum revitalized the Encounter exhibit by integrating new materials and signage that provided an updated, balanced perspective. This enhanced exhibit now delves into the deeper and complex, painful history of indigenous peoples' interaction with European settlers and long-lasting effects of trade on their cultures and the environment. It tells a fuller, more accurate story of the past, addressing the delicate balance between exploration and its consequences. The Encounter has quickly become the museum's #1 school field trip program, demonstrating its tremendous educational value and relevance. Once again, congratulations to the Elgin Public Museum of Natural History for your dedication to preserving and enhancing our understanding of history. Your efforts in reimagining the Encounter exhibit demonstrate a commitment to both historical accuracy and cultural sensitivity, and your work is something Elgin can be proud of. Will you please come forward and accept your award? Come on up, everybody. Hi there.
Thank you so much, Mayor Kaptain and the Elgin Heritage Commission for this honor. And thank you to the Palmer Foundation, which provided a grant that made our renovation possible. But as much as for their funding, we thank them for their patience, as we soon enough realized we could do this project quickly, or we could do it right. We opted for right because we wanted to mesh it with the needs of students in U46 and beyond, featuring both social studies and environmental science concepts. Now our #1 field trip program, we try to make kids think about how the coming of Europeans created an unprecedented global cultural exchange, but also quickly ended thousands of years of the lifeways of Native peoples. And so to realize this is something that we are living through right now as AI takes over and our old ways of doing things are becoming obsolete overnight. As we make life easier, we need to remember basic human dignity and kindness. Shout out to our board of directors, hey team EPM over there, and especially President Judy Hayner, who, where is she? There she is, who was hands-on for so much exhibit work and whose artistic eye was crucial to its visual appeal. Also here is museum assistant Abby Rasmussen, whose degree in archaeology got an early workout as she dug through our 100 years plus of artifacts to find just the right projectile points, axe heads, and pottery. Volunteer extraordinaire Mike McGrath, who's crawling and contorting himself inside the exhibit, probably contributed to the knee replacement surgery that keeps him from being here tonight. Volunteer Steph Boyle, who is not here this evening, but did so much, but I'll mostly remember her for finding the perfect plastic persimmons. And two people without whom the base exhibit we were expanding on would not have existed. Back in the 1970s, Larkin High School French teacher Reed Lewis and a crew of several adults, but mostly high school students, garnered worldwide press attention for canoeing from Montreal to New Orleans, retracing the paddle strokes of the explorer LaSalle. Their journey revealed to them the abysmal state of America's waterways at that time, helping to raise environmental awareness. One of those then high school students became our driving force in renovating the exhibit. Rich Gross, not just a LaSalle historian, but also a science teacher, visited every few weeks and absolutely blew our minds with so much information we never would have otherwise discovered. By the way, he was also a firefighter in Elgin for some years, and he told me when they were talking about the Nancy Kimball cobblestone, he once put out a fire in it. We were honored to have Rich sometimes bring Reed Lewis with to see the progress, and having Reed's approval meant the world to us, as does his being here with us tonight. So thank you, Rich and Reed. Finally, for the Smithsonian, all the way down to the giant ball of string museum, these are precarious times. If you believe in our cultural and educational value, please visit us. Elgin is so fortunate to have 3 full-fledged museums, Elgin Public Museum, Elgin History Museum, Elgin Fire Barn No. 5 Museum, plus the U-46 Planetarium, occasionally open to the public. Visit us, donate if you can, become members, attend our programs and events, please. Let's keep Elgin a city that recognizes the quality of life importance of museums. Thank you.
Our last Mayor's Award recipient tonight is Tricia Grosser for her continued volunteerism, fundraising, and enthusiasm for education and promoting Elgin's history as a docent and board member of the Elgin History Museum. Tricia began her journey with the museum in 2011 as a volunteer, and by 2013, she became a member of the board of directors, where she has since served with passion and commitment. Over the years, she has taken on numerous key responsibilities, always with the goal of preserving and promoting the rich history of Elgin. Currently, Tricia is overseeing the development of updated bylaws, ethics, and policies for the museum, ensuring that the organization operates with transparency and accountability. One of Tricia's most notable contributions has been her leadership in guiding the museum through the American Association of State and Local Histories accreditation program. Through this initiative, she helped the museum transform its operations, training new volunteers to become docents and enhancing its educational programming. Beyond her work with the museum's educational programs, Tricia also leads the Gratitude Committee and plays a vital role in Giving Tuesday campaign, and further ensuring the museum's continued success through effective fundraising and donor relations. Her enthusiasm and ability to engage with the community has been pivotal in increasing public awareness of Elgin's heritage. She has made Elgin's history more accessible, engaging, and meaningful to the residents and visitors alike. Tricia is a true steward of Elgin's past, and through her continued service, she has helped ensure that the history of our community will be preserved, celebrated, and shared for generations to come. Will Tricia please come forward and accept her award?
Allow me just a few minutes to take this position of receiving this award and focus and highlight on the reason for it, the Elgin History Museum. It does not escape me that the organization has been here for over 40 years, and I am the recipient of all those people that have come before me who have volunteered hours to the museum. I think of the people now. We have a wonderful staff who does way more than they're paid for. We have a working board that pitches in, that does things like weed the cobblestone this morning. We have people that take on big jobs, the big events, the cemetery walk, the gala fundraisers, who take over and help with the education programs where we have U46 and other students from neighboring towns come to our museum for our programs throughout the year. We have those that are interested in acquisitions and archives, who are interested in research, and who are also just interested in helping people who come to the museum have a good experience when they're there. Oh, and not to mention those who help with the exhibits and all the special projects that we have had. It's kind of mind-blowing that I'm up here, because I'm just a small part. Thank you.
I had one job. The mayor's doing all the heavy lifting, he's giving the speech, and I just have to give the right certificate to the right person. I got 5 out of 7 right, so I'm pretty happy. And the thing that bothers me is I confused or mixed up the Elgin Public Museum and the Elgin Historical Museum. I know, of all people, that's not the one I should have gotten mixed. Thank you, Mayor Kaptain. The Mayor's Awards has always been a time to evaluate, and looking back, it's been a good year. As you can see, our award and plaque recipients, there have been no shortage of homeowners willing to continue to improve and take pride in their homes, neighborhoods, and cities. The Heritage and Design Review Commissions also received a Best Practice Award in Protection for the comprehensive update of the Historic District and Landmark Design Guidelines. That came from the National Alliance of Preservation Commission last year. Now, I don't want to make it all about me, but since I have the microphone, I can. It's been an interesting year for me. We had a Mayor's Award who is younger than my children, and we plaqued a house that was built after I was born. I've felt very old, but I felt better because I'm not sure about Councilman Thorne. When you were on the Heritage Commission, every time you guys voted on a house that was built after 1890, didn't you feel just as old? You know, okay, there goes our funding, but no. I want to point out that that's a good thing that that's happening because it shows that the Heritage Commission is changing. We're bringing in a new generation, and our focus is not just limited on a certain time period or a certain style of house. We're evolving and we're changing with the times. I want to thank everyone for their projects, big and small, that make Elgin a great place to live. And I also want to thank the mayor and council members for their continued support. But I want to thank one more person who does so much more to keep everything running, and that would be Elgin's preservationist, Kristen Sundquist. Working with the public, working with contractors, doing surveys, updating our guides. She runs the Heritage Commission and the Design Review Committee. Kristen keeps all the cats herded and moving in somewhat the same direction. I also want to acknowledge and congratulate Kristen on receiving the Historic Preservation Award in the Certified Local Government category. This is a federal award given out by the Department of the Interior, and she's the only one at her level to win it in the entire country. With the uncertainty in the federal government, the award ceremony in Washington has been put on hold, so I know I'm not the Secretary of the Interior yet, but I would like to congratulate and acknowledge Kristen on this nationally prestigious award. Once again, on behalf of the Elgin Heritage Commission, I'd like to thank you all for showing up, and I'd like to thank all our recipients and nominators, and let's go out and have a good night. Thank you.